This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Good evening and welcome to News Tonight. I am Radhika Iyer. A state minister has allegedly done what A. Raja did, played favoritism. NDTV Hindu has evidence that the chairman of the CMDA, who happens to be the Information and Public Relations Minister, violated rules to grant licenses to open 25 shops in Coimbatore. Peer Mohammed has that investigative report. He will join us live on this very show to suggest and to in fact give us details of that RTI application which he's got hands of. It possibly could bring in more embarrassment to the DMK. And wait, Bangalore is on a terror alert, Hyderabad is on a Telangana alert, and back home in Chennai the 2G alert continues. This is what the South is doing, in fact making headlines nationally. So let's get straight to the headlines. Karnataka on high alert after intelligence reports suggest a possible attack. The King's Fortress has been invaded. AIADMK troops attack A. Raja on the 2G spectrum scam straight in Perambalur. Tomorrow they move to Trichy. The PM writes to the Public Accounts Committee saying he's ready to appear before it in the 2G spectrum scam. Chairman of the CMDA does an A. Raja, rules violated while allotting 25 shops.
Procedural violations in allotment of orders.
7 killed on their pilgrimage to Velankani after their vehicle rammed into a lorry in Krishnagiri and grounded in a terminal. Travellers blame airlines and airlines stress on terms of service. This report tells you how to avoid these problems. Classical dance forms comes alive, showcasing their various facets, and here's what best Margali has to offer. Let's also get you a wrap of the national headlines. Congress Telangana leaders on a hunger strike in Andhra Pradesh demand all police cases filed against them be dropped. West Bengal Chief Minister gets the Home Minister's letter asking him to control violence in the state. The CPM calls it partisan. Another setback for the BCCI. Now the Bombay High Court rejects its plea against the stay on Lalit Modi's disciplinary hearing. A severe snowstorm hits the US East Coast, stranding thousands of passengers during the holiday season. Bangalore is on a high alert. Security has been intensified in Bangalore and the whole of Karnataka, particularly the coastal areas like Mangalore and Udupi. This comes after central intelligence agencies have indicated reports of a possible attack, perhaps even through the sea in the country and Karnataka particularly. The Chief Minister, Mr. Yediyurappa, says that there are no direct reports about terrorists infiltrating into the state. However, the state is taking no chances. A 550-member strong paramilitary force provided by the centre is stationed in the city. Security and vigil has been scaled up in coastal areas. Police also tightened security at all reservoirs and malls following the alert. A high-level committee was held in the capital headed by the Home Minister. My colleague Vasanthi Hariprakash joins us live. The mall city, Vasanthi, days ahead of the new year seems to be on terror alert. What are your sources in the intelligence sharing with you?
Well, Radhika, I know whenever there is a high alert of this order, then there's a certain amount of worry, but we can certainly tell our viewers that there is really nothing to really spoil the New Year mood as far as Bangalore is concerned. Yes, it is true that there is a high alert because after the security review meeting this morning, the Chief Minister, Mr. Yediyurappa, told us that there were certain intelligence inputs from the centre that said that there could be possible terrorist infiltration through the coastline. Now, as you're aware, Radhika, 2 districts particularly, that's Dakshin Kannada as well as Karwar of Karnataka, have a long coastal stretch. So like other states like Gujarat and Maharashtra, Karnataka too got these alerts from the centre. In fact, when Mr. Yediyurappa was asked specifically if there is a terror threat to Karnataka per se, he said there wasn't any, but they weren't really taking any chances, and they do have the centre's cooperation in this regard. And in a place like Hebbal within Bangalore, there is a paramilitary unit that is on par with the NSG, and therefore the situation is pretty much under control. Yes, security around particular installations are more, but there's really nothing to worry. So that's a good note, Radhika.
All right, Vasanthi, this time of the year, there will be a lot of commuting from Chennai to Bangalore and vice versa. What security arrangements are in place?
Well, that's right, Radhika. Chennai-Bangalore traffic is high at any time of the year. Considering that there's going to be a New Year weekend, yes, there will be security concerns. But as far as the Chief Minister's assurance, and I was also speaking to the intelligence chief sometime this afternoon, they are maintaining all precautions. They're really leaving nothing to chance. And though, like I mentioned, there is no specific perception of a threat to Karnataka as such, but they are making sure that security, particularly in Bangalore, in various places, is high. And this includes, places like the railway station and bus stops as well. So that's really something which is heartening. Radhika?
Vasanthi Hariprakash, many thanks for joining us. Back home, the 2G alert continues. The AIADMK ensured that it sounded the 2G alert in the state loud and clear before the state goes to polls. In fact, A. Raja's fortress, Perambalur, was invaded by the AIADMK men and the king of the scam was attacked. Members of the AIADMK were on a hunger strike today in A. Raja's home turf, Perambalur. It was a day-long hunger strike to expose the alleged fraudulent dealings of the former Union Telecom minister while allotting the spectrum license last year. The next stop is going to be Trichy. The party leaders will stop at central Tamil Nadu tomorrow to conduct a similar protest outside the Trichy collectorate. The strike in Perambalur comes just 2 weeks after the houses of A. Raja and his close associate Sadiq Basha were raided by the CBI. Meanwhile, the DMK is holding a series of public meetings, first in Karur, then in Trichy, and it seems the next will soon be again in central Tamil Nadu, where these rallies are not just meant to support Raja, but hail him as the hero who led the cell phone revolution in India. Well, the monster 2G scam dominated the country's political agenda in the capital too, once again with two significant developments. Firstly, the Prime Minister put down in writing his offer to appear before the PAC, the Public Accounts Committee, to answer questions about the 2G scam. He first suggested this at a Congress party conclave last week, but was turned down by the opposition, which says that nothing less than a JPC, which is the Joint Parliamentary Committee probe, will do. The Congress rejected this demand again today. Murali Manohar Joshi, who heads the PAC, says a decision on the Prime Minister's appearance before the PAC will be taken at an appropriate time. Meanwhile, the CAG, Vinod Rai, whose report indicted A. Raja, appeared before the PAC today. Well, the CAG, of course, reiterating that A. Raja and his alleged favoritism that he played did cause a loss of over 1.7 lakh crore rupees to the exchequer. Moving on, 25 shops at the busy Coimbatore market have been allotted by the chairman of Chennai Metropolitan Development Authority, the CMDA, after he newly created a quota for such allotments. This has led to allegations of nepotism and procedural violations and violations. The unprecedented allocation has been done by State Minister Paruthi Ilambaruthi, who is also the chairman of the CMDA. Our senior reporter Peer Mohammed scoops out the violation, and this is an NDTV Hindu exclusive.
This letter from a former DMK ward secretary was good enough to get a 150 square feet shop at Coimbatore Wholesale Market Complex, especially since it was endorsed by Information Minister Paruthi Ilambaruthi, who also holds the post of chairman of the CMDA. This is a highly unusual practice. For the last 14 years, ever since the market was opened, allotment was done by drawing of lots. This itself followed a transparent practice of public notification by the CMDA.
13-12-1996 ஆண்டு கோயம்பேடு காய் கனி மலர் அங்காடி வளாகம் தமிழக முதல்வர் மு கருணாநிதி அவர்களால் திறக்கப்பட்டது. திறக்கப்பட்ட நாள் ஆகி ஒரு 14 ஆண்டு காலமாக இது நாள் வரையிலும் மந்திரிக்கு என்று எந்த ஒதுக்கீடும் செய்யவில்லை. காரணம் என்னவென்றால் இது சுயநிதி திட்டத்தில் உருவான மார்க்கெட். இது ஒரு கண்டிக்கத்தக்கது என்பதை நான் கூறிக்கொள்கிறேன்.
An RTI application has revealed that no guidelines were framed authorizing the chairman's quota for the allocation of shops in Coimbatore. The approval itself for such a quota was given not by the government but decided internally by the CMDA.
Here, admittedly, no guidelines have been framed. The minister personally receives application. Most of the same date applications were ordered. Sanction orders given by the minister. They specifically mentioned shop number also. When no notification is made, no publication is made, no advertisement is made that there is availability of shop under the minister's quota, it is not able to understandable.
Without any reasonable explanation, the CMDA withdrew the notification for allocation of shops. Surprisingly, the minister's order under his quota was issued simultaneously. When contacted by NDTV Hindu, both the minister's office and the CMDA claimed they were unaware of this issue.
The absence of government nod, the absence of guidelines for chairman's quota raises several questions. Will the government now explain the procedural violations behind such allotment of shops in Coimbatore, in Chennai? Peer Mohammed, NDTV Hindu.
Right, Peer Mohammed in fact joins us live in the newsrooms. Peer, thank you very much firstly for getting us that report and of course for joining us live in our newsrooms tonight. Peer, you have a copy of the RTI application which of course was asked for by the RTI reply which was asked for by an advocate in Chennai. Does it now indicate that the minister played favoritism?
Yes, Radhika, it does point to nepotism played by the minister, particularly for any quota. Even when we exposed the housing scam of the Tamil Nadu government, the Chief Minister reacted saying that, there are parameters, we followed those parameters. But here the RTA application, the answer given by the CMDA reveals that no guidelines have been framed. There is the hitch, and even for other discretionary quota of the government, there are certain parameters like track unblemished track record in government services or widow of army jawan, or some criteria should be there. Here there is no criteria. A former ward secretary of the DMK gives the application like this with Chief Minister's pictures and Deputy Chief Minister's picture and asks for a shop for his daughter, and immediately it is granted. The same day the application is given by on a single sheet of paper, the minister signs here and says that this particular shop be allotted. That is a clear flouting of norms. That is what angered the RT activists and also the association members because it's a collective, it's a cooperative market, self-financed market by the merchants, where after 14 years, where notification was clearly followed, suddenly the minister comes and being the chairman of the CMDA, he will allot a certain number of shops. That has created the controversy here.
Right. In fact, we know Peer of merchants who have been waiting for several years now to get that license to open a shop there in Coimbatore. So what really provoked this particular minister to sanction? On what basis did he sanction license to this particular shop? Just on a basis of a letter with the chief minister's picture on it. Was that good enough? That's something that we'll try and find out. We'll get to the bottom of that very case. Leaders in Andhra Pradesh don't want paramilitary forces to be deployed. Will the New Year celebrations be disrupted in Hyderabad? We'll tell you after the break.